Hi, my name is Dr. Manus. In this video, I will be providing a brief introduction to the concept of brand personality, which builds on my Introduction to Personality video. Let's get started. In the background of this slide, we have Starbucks, right? We have the Starbucks logo, and we might use some words to describe Starbucks, right? You may have your own words that you could use to describe Starbucks. You might think that Starbucks is stylish, that they're modern, they're trendy, that they have good taste, that they're creative in the drinks that they make and the different food that you can get at Starbucks. And the experience might be friendly, it might be positive. But you could use other words to think of things that describe Starbucks, right? So the main idea of this video is to show you that brands have personalities. A brand personality is defined as the set of human characteristics that are attributed to a brand. So many of the words that we used on the previous slide were human characteristics that we used to describe Starbucks. And you may have some terms or words or phrases that you could use to describe Starbucks that are considered human characteristics. So brands have personalities similar to how humans have personalities. So another example of brand personality can be used whenever we think of products, not just a brand. So before I had mentioned Starbucks, right? And we could use different words to describe Starbucks, the brand, the company. However, we can also talk about brand personality as it relates to products. So one personality trait in this example we could look at is excitement. And we could look at different dimensions of excitement. We could look at whether the product is daring, spirited, imaginative, or up to date. Well, something that may be low on the excitement personality trait may be this traditional wine bottle. If you've ever gone to the wine aisle in your local grocery store, you're probably familiar with this type of wine bottle. It's consistent. There's nothing really unique or out of the ordinary with this particular wine bottle. It looks pretty standard, has a standard type of label, standard type of shape, and a standard type of cap or screw, a corkscrew in the bottle. However, this wine bottle, might be considered more on the high excitement for the excitement personality trait. And that is because it exemplifies different characteristics that make the product much more modern, daring, and imaginative that the traditional wine bottle does not represent. For example, the wine bottle on the high excitement personality trait has a tilted design. The shape of the bottle is also very different than the traditional wine bottle, and the label is very outspoken. It hits you in the face as soon as you see it. You notice that there's something very different about this wine in particular. So why should companies focus on brand personality? Well, forging a successful brand personality is key to building brand loyalty. Well, how do companies develop their brand personality? One way is through brand storytelling, described as giving a product a rich background to involve customers in its history or experience, which is aligned with reader response theory, the role of the reader or viewer or some person in interpreting a story rather than just relying upon the author's version. So what's key here is while a brand may be trying to personify a certain personality, it's up to the consumer to interpret what a brand is trying to tell them. And that's where brand storytelling can really come into play. Through brand storytelling, companies will often promote an underdog brand biography by providing details about a brand's humble origins and how it defied the odds to succeed. As companies like Apple and many of these others like Microsoft, you can think of their humble origins that they've tried to promote, which is they started in a garage. And they started off really small, but now they're these huge companies. It really is a fact that they did defy the odds to succeed, because people working in their garage on a project, who would have thought that they would have turned into the multi-billion-dollar companies that they are today? So the overall purpose of brand storytelling efforts is to create a brand that resonates with consumers and in turn cement a bond between the consumer and the brand that is very difficult to break. Another way brands can develop their brand personality is through anthropomorphism, which is attributing human characteristics to objects or animals. Many companies do this, such as M&M's, M&M People, the Planters, Mr. Peanut, and Kool-Aid's Kool-Aid Man. Some efforts have been made to tarnish a company's efforts at developing their brand personality through doppelganger brand images, which is a logo that looks like the original but is a critique of it. Some examples are this one for McDonald's, which says McDiabetes, and this logo of Pepsi, which has been made to look like a fat person bending over. Finally, we have different brands that represent different archetypes. In the introduction of personality video, I discussed the 12 Jungian archetypes displayed on this slide. Similar to people, brands and companies can represent some of these archetypes. For example, consumers may view Harley-Davidson as fitting the outlaw archetype. This concludes the video on brand personality. If you would like to learn more about brand personality or learn more about other consumer behavior topics, please watch my other videos. If you have questions, please feel free to email me at kmanus@nmsu.edu. Bye-bye.